Hi, welcome back to Elite Chess. Dion Gradema here. This is the third episode in the series Road to 2400 in Elite Chess Blitz. So today the topic I'm going to be focusing on and trying to apply into my games is the topic of how to solve the problem of playing bad chess games. Sometimes it's just not happening. You want to win games, but you are just making a lot of mistakes and blundering everything, and it's very easy to be discouraged and want to give up. But I have two steps here that I would like to recommend. Two steps to follow that can help you to overcome this bad form. And the first thing is to go back to the basics. Go back to the basics in the three stages of chess: the opening, the middle game, and end game. Just go back to the three main things. Well, there's many basics steps to be followed, but in all different parts. But I'll cover some of them as I'm playing in these games today. And of course, the second step is to be patient. You must always be patient. Chess takes time. Becoming a strong chess player takes time, takes years even. So it's very important not to be discouraged and to give up because you haven't achieved the goals that you have set for yourself in the time you thought you would do it. It takes a lot of time and a lot of patience. So without much talk, let's get straight into the games. I'm going to find the first game, and you notice my rating has dropped since last time because at the moment I'm currently in bad form. So let's try to overcome this. So my opponent plays the Sicilian. So the three, or at least the four basic steps to follow in the opening is to develop your pieces, control the center of the board, castle early to connect your rooks, and avoid having bad pawn structures. So that's basically what I'm going to try and do. So following the rule of development and also fighting for the center. So my opponent plays uh, an opening that the world champion likes to play, Magnus Carlsen. So yeah, just following the basics, controlling the center, developing pieces, and okay, he wants to play bishop g4. Let's stop that. Okay, he plays his queen to f4, plays his rook to d8 to just develop pieces, control the center, just do the basics. We don't want to be complicated, just follow the basic rules. He plays knight d7, it's a bit interesting. Maybe he wants to play e5, but connects rooks. This is a mistake. Knight to d5, already with some problems for my opponent. And you see, I didn't really do anything special. I simply followed the basics, and my opponent is already in big trouble here. Think okay, even this can work because there's a check here, and this king goes there, and I think there's a threat of checkmate, which is difficult to stop. It's not looking good for my opponent. Yeah, he is simply losing here. But I didn't do anything special in the opening. You know, I just went back to the basics, and now we are in the middle game. Look for a target. My opponent blunders their queen. Look, and he is just game over. When you control the center, you want to push your pieces forward. Okay, there's many moves here, but maybe just to go here and play c7. Okay, so in the middle game, you always want to, number one is you want to look for targets to attack in the opponent's camp. The number one target, of course, is the king. So you always want to find a way to attack the opponent's king. So here my queen is under attack. Of course, my opponent has a lot of time, so I have to play a little bit quick to avoid losing the game. That was not necessary. Now this gives me an opportunity to exchange rooks, and this makes my task a lot easier. Let's just pin his rook, continue to look for targets to attack. He is playing fast because he realizes he has more time than me, but now at least through playing fast, he's playing moves that are not very accurate. And now at least it's just clear the advantage. if you're up with material, you want to exchange pieces, because your material advantage will be very huge afterwards. And I mean, I'll just make a queen. I don't really care what he's doing here. Can give a check, attack him, and then he goes bishop a7, but now he can resign. Okay, now it's just easy. Now at least we have a clear plan. The king has nowhere to go. My opponent can resign. Could even be just annoying and follow the rule of exchanging pieces. Can't do anything. And now I'll bring my king in to checkmate him. So yeah, this has been a very nice game. And checkmate. Okay, let's go to the next game. So again, followed the basics in the opening and simply got a winning position. Did nothing special. It doesn't want to rematch. Let's find a new opponent. In the mid game, I wasn't really clear on the steps because it sort of just went off quickly, the attack. And okay, again another Sicilian. We'll even the same first few moves. Okay, he plays e6 instead of g6. But again, just to follow the basics of the opening, not doing nothing special. Okay, push the pawn forward. He has moved the same piece twice in the opening, which is usually a mistake. And now we can play for the idea to get our... Okay, just make normal moves. Stopping the idea of c5, and pawn is attacked. We don't want to lose material. And now we have the right position. He wants bishop a6 and bishop b5. So let's see. Okay, he plays instead. Yeah, but this must not be good. I can go for this one. Tries to challenge the center, of course. But my goal is to get my knight into c5. Now we have connected rooks. We are in the middle game. So now I'll be clear on the middle game rules. The number one thing to do in the middle game is you want to look for targets to attack. Like I said in the last game, the number one target is the king. The other targets are the weak pawns, a pawn that cannot be defended by another pawn, the weak squares, the squares that cannot be defended by pawns. So when you have a target, you make a plan on how to attack this target. So my target is c6 and the c5 square, but my opponent has a threat to attack on e5. So let me go on c5 and use this square. Yeah, it looks... They'll take here, and I'll take here, and I'll take on a7. And we go into a middle game position where we are going to have opposite color bishop. So one of the main things in this position is to start an attack. So of course my opponent... Oh, that's a mistake. My opponent just played a careless move and they are losing right away. To start an attack on the wrong squares, because the other bishop can't defend the dark squares, and the main thing is to attack on the squares that the opponent's bishop can't go to. And yeah, just a one move trick. I mean, I saw it just before he played that he should not move the bishop away. Any move defending the bishop was fine, and now it resigns. Okay, he tries for this, but this loses at least a rook. Of course, the game will continue, but yeah, a rook is a rook. So play queen to e6, again following the rule of the middle game. Look for targets to attack. The weak pawns here should be attacked. And also I'm up on the clock. This is always important. You must always try to have more time than the opponent in any given position. It's good to have more time than the opponent. Yeah, time is very important in chess. Of course, this is not part of the things well, actually, I should throw it in as one of the basics to always try to have more time. Okay, my opponent plays queen to. Okay, we can just continue following the rule of attacking targets. Look for targets to attack. The target is the e6 pawn. Now we make a skewer. Win another pawn. Okay, and then after queen here, just up with material. Again, look for targets to attack. The same thing again, look for targets to attack. Okay, this will force maybe bishop to e8. Now after queen here, the pawns can start to march. Because in the end game, the number one plan is to create a pass pawn. So of course, it's still not so much an end game really, but here this position we can start to follow the plan of. Okay, my opponent wants to start some dodgy attack. We don't want to allow the opponent that chances. So yeah, I want to attack my opponent. I don't want them to attack me. So the threat with queen here, we don't want to allow that. Okay, good. Now they've gone backwards, which is what we want. Now we push pawns. The opponent can't make any threats. We force them to go back. Yes, just queen here. I think I can just take the pawn. There's a bishop h3 move here, but that can't be working because I always have g3 even. Okay, queen check. And then, ooh, they have a very, very serious threat, but it doesn't work because of the back rank problems, and they see it. And now queen here, trying to get rid of any of this funny stuff. My opponent has some dangerous threats now, so always want to respect the threats of the opponent, lest one gets careless and throws away a game. So yeah, maybe just something like queen here. Yeah. Okay, now we put the queen in the center. Of course, there was queen h5 anyways. But yeah, time was getting a bit low. But okay, yeah, so 2 wins from the points. To summarize, when you are in bad form, you need to go back to these 2 things mainly. Go back to the basics in the 3 stages of chess and be patient. It's very, very important, especially the patience part. If you want to improve, you need to be patient. Chess takes time. To become a strong chess player takes time. So I hope that you have found this video useful, and that whatever you have learned in this video, you start to do it right away in your games, and that you see yourself get out of this bad form. But of course, before I let you go, if you would like to learn more in detail these methods to follow in the opening, the mid game, and the end game, then I would like to encourage you to buy the Elite Chess Starter Coaching Package below in the links. You can learn more in detail all these steps and that you can start to use them in your games. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and to like the video and to share it with your people. Thank you so much, and as always, keep chessing. Bye bye.